purpose of this video is to show you how to generate and deliver reports using BPA Platform. BPA Platform enables you to automatically generate and deliver reports on a regular schedule based on a business condition such as invoices in your ERP, quotes in your CRM, or perhaps negative PTO in your HR. It can also deliver exception reports such as low gross margin. It supports Crystal Reports and SQL Server reporting services and also has the ability to call other reporting tools as well. We're going to walk through setting up a Crystal report today for customers over their credit limit. We will cover SQL Server reporting services in a future video. So here we are in BPA Platform. I've already started a task and created the query as we covered creating a query in a previous video. So here we have our clients over our credit limit, and here's the query. I do want to take a quick look at this query because it does have some items in it that pertain to the Crystal report we're going to be generating. BPA Platform has the ability to pass fields of data from an underlying application. So in this case, the Crystal report I'm working with has a parameter of account ref. So you'll see that I've included account ref here in the columns so I can use that later. I also have the ability to save the file and or email the file as an attachment, and in order to do that I need to have the file name, the document path, as well as a field that contains both the path and the file name. Now these can be hard-coded or these can be dynamic based on fields of information from the underlying database. And that's what we're doing in this report. So let's take a quick look. We'll see here that I want the file name to be the account ref plus PDF. So we've put that here in our formula editor. The path can also be dynamic, but I've just hard-coded that to my desktop so we can quickly take a look during this video. And then we have our doc path, which is both the hard-coded path as well as the file name. So initially when you're creating a task, you need to decide what's going to trigger that task. In this case, we're going to use a schedule. I'll put that here. And I would like this to run every Friday. So we're going to go to main, and I'm going to say weeks. And I'm going to say every week. And I'm going to choose Friday, 8 a.m. So there's our trigger for our task. We have our query. So now we need to add our Crystal report. I'll come over to Format, drag over Run Crystal Report, give it a name, use the record set from the underlying query, come over to Report, click Import. I'm going to choose our clients over credit limit. If I wanted to at this point, I could click on Edit Report and that would actually launch Crystal Reports. I know this report has a parameter, so I'm going to click Add. If it had multiple parameters, I could choose which one I'm doing at this moment. I'm going to do a discrete value. I could also do a range, so I could do last month start date, last month end date. But in this case, we're going to do a discrete value. I could do a date variable here. I could hard code information here. But in this case, I actually want to pass over the account ref from the underlying query. Each report does require a username and password. This is really handy if you want to run reports that actually pull data from other applications. So I could actually have a task that is triggered based on a condition in the CRM system that ends up generating a Crystal report that pulls data from the ERP system, which is very nice. So I'm going to add my username and password. And in the Options tab, we have our normal if this fails, abort the task, or continue. You'll also see that BPA Platform supports PDF bookmarks. So our Crystal report is done. So at this point, we really need to decide how we're going to distribute this. Do I want to save it locally? Do I want to copy it up to an FTP? Do I want to email it out? Or do I want to do a combination of those things? In this case, I'm going to be emailing the customer, letting them know that they are over their credit limit. I want this Crystal report to be the body of the email, but I also want to attach their statement. I'm actually going to include another Crystal report. I'm going to use the underlying query, going to choose my report. Here's my statement. And again, I know that it has a parameter of account ref, so I'm going to come in and drag that over. Enter my username and password. Check my options and say OK. So now we have our statement. So I want to save the statement and then have this notification to the customer as the HTML body. So I'm going to come over and say output, and we're going to choose save as file first. And I'm going to use the documents from the underlying source. And I'm going to choose the statement, and I want it to be a PDF. But you can see I can have HTML, Excel, RTF, XML, a lot of different file types. And here I'm going to utilize those fields that I created in the underlying query. So I'm going to come over to record set, and I've got my file name, which is requested here, so I'll just drag that over. I could browse out, and please make sure to use UNC. And here's the path. And again, we have our options: never overwrite, always overwrite, and what happens if any errors occur. So I'm done with save file. And now I want to generate my outbound email. So again, I'll come over to output, drag over my email, read documents from source. So in this case, I'm going to say clients over the credit limit, and I'm going to choose HTML because that's going to be the HTML body. And then over here in main, I'm going to say use document output because that is going to be the HTML body. If I just had a simple attachment, a report attachment, I'd say message only, and then I could type my message body here, dear first name, last name, and any other fields of information I want from the underlying database. I'm going to choose my from and my demo user. And again, if you remember from the last video, I can drag information over from the record set. So in this case, if I wasn't doing a demo situation, I would actually drag over the customer email address into the message recipients. And if I wanted, I could drag over the account rep's email address as well, so they got a CC. And here's my subject. And I can attach the underlying PDF. So here I click add. I can have a static attachment or a dynamic attachment. In this case, I do want a dynamic attachment, and I've got the doc path, which is both the path and the file name, and I drag those over. So here in the Options tab, I'm going to choose to send this report to each row from the underlying query. Perhaps I want to send a report just to the account reps with all of their customers that are over their credit limit. So I could do that here and choose the break field to be account rep, but we'll leave it at for each row. And then error handling: if the file isn't found, we can send the message without logging any warning. We can send the message and log a warning, or do not send the message if we do not find the document. I'm going to choose to not send the message. So there is our attachment, and again, we're going to use the document output as the HTML and our standard abort options. All right, so now we can connect these, say OK, and we're going to queue this now. So here we are in Outlook, and we can see our HTML message that is our initial Crystal report that was for customers over their credit limit. So we can see that it's pulled the customer name. Our records indicate that your account has exceeded your agreed credit limit. And you'll also see we have the attachment of their statement, which is their accountref.pdf. So that's how you schedule a Crystal report with an attached statement.